Bibi, 27 years old. Worked night shift at a logistics warehouse just outside town. Been there a little over a year. Not exciting, but it's alright in the grand scheme of things. And on the plus side, there is rarely anyone breathing down your neck. Job is basically unloading trucks, sorting packages, scanning barcodes, loading outgoing shipments. Mindless work, but kind of peaceful. Can throw on headphones, zone out, and not think too hard. Management does not micromanage as long as the job gets done. About a month ago, we get a new guy on the night crew. Name is Derek. Mid to late 30s, kind of rough looking, shaved head, stocky build. Quiet dude, polite, but kept to himself. Only talks when necessary, always short and to the point. Did his work, never complained, but always felt off somehow. Like the kind of guy who is used to being invisible. Figured he was one of those shut-in types. Probably preferred staying at home. First weird thing happened maybe a week after he started. I am unloading a shipment of flat screens around 1 a.m. Look over and see Derek just standing by the bay door, staring at a stack of boxes. Not moving, not doing anything, just staring. Think maybe he's figuring out how to move them or whatever. Keep working. Come back like 15 minutes later and he is still there. Exact same posture. Hands at his sides, just blank. Call out to him like, "Yo, you good?" He jolts a bit, turns and goes, "Yeah, just spaced for a second." Gives a quick half smile and walks off like nothing happened. Weird, but maybe he's tired or got stuff going on. We all have off days. Next couple of weeks, I start noticing it more. Derek will be working like normal, then just suddenly stop. Not like taking a breather, more like freezing up. Eyes go kind of glassy, unblinking. Does not respond unless you physically get his attention. Always brushes it off. Sorry, long day, or just thinking. Nobody else really seems to care as long as he pulls his weight, but I start keeping an eye on him. Then one night it gets worse. Doing inventory in the back. Hear footsteps behind me. Turn around, expecting one of the guys. It's Derek, standing over a clipboard, looking at the shipping logs. But something is off. He is flipping pages like he is searching for something, but barely looking at them. His face looks scared or confused maybe. Ask him if he is alright. He does not answer for like 5 seconds. Finally goes, trying to figure out where the shipment is going. Doesn't really make sense to me. I look over his shoulder. Addresses are all over the place. A few local, others out of state. One is listed as a vacant lot 2 counties over. Another is just GPS coordinates. Don't say anything, but that is not normal. Next day, I check some of the old logs. Not supposed to, but no one really watches the terminal closely. I've been here a while too, and the boss likes me. If he caught me, I could just explain, and he would be cool. He might not even care honestly, Lamau. Look at the last few weeks of deliveries. Most are normal. Retail stores, warehouses, homes. But sprinkled in are these weird ones. No company listed, just private or priority, do not modify. Some don't even have proper addresses, just vague labels like Lot B17 or Container Site 9, or things that are very clearly vacant lots, like the one I saw the other night. It was always stuff marked medical equipment or proprietary electronics. We don't even handle that kind of shipment usually. This had to pull footage from the night that Derek was acting strange. I am close friends with the guy who works security, so he was more than happy to oblige. Rewind the cameras for the back dock. See Derek standing there, staring at the clipboard. Then this van pulls up around 2:30 a.m. Not one of ours, no company logo, just a plain black panel van. 2 guys get out, both wearing dark hoodies, hats pulled down low. They walk straight into the building, through the side entrance. Camera angle sucks, but you can tell Derek sees them. He watches them walk in and does not move. Few minutes later, they walk out again. One is carrying something wrapped in tarp. Can't tell what. They get in the van and leave. Derek goes back to work like nothing happened. Very weird. Security guy does not care. He's an immigrant from, I think, Pakistan. Really chill dude, but you can tell he is just there for the paycheck. I mentioned it to him, but you could tell he could not care less. He did not even take a look when I pointed it out. Was more interested in chatting about League of Legends, and when I say chat I mean complain. A few days later, Derek stopped showing up. Ask supervisor about it. He just says Derek is on leave. Won't say more. Look at the schedule. His name has been wiped from the shift calendar. He has no shifts for the next few months. Go back to check his employee entry in the system. Sure enough, it says he's on temp leave. Ask a coworker what happened and if he was okay. Seems weird to go on leave so suddenly without it being a really serious emergency. They pause and go, "Oh yeah, I have no idea what happened to that guy." Like they already forgot he existed or just did not care enough where he went. How did no one fucking know why he was on leave? Starting to feel really uneasy. Went back to check that night's footage again. Files are gone. Entire folder from that night is missing. Ask the guy who manages the cameras if anything happened. He shrugs, says, sometimes the archives just glitch out. Bullshit. They are on a secure server. You have to delete them manually. I said this to him, and he straight up told me it was management's problem, that he would only sort it if they kicked up a fuss. Some people, man. Starting to think I should not have been looking at all. Sometimes, when I am working late now, I get this weird feeling, like someone is watching me from the upper catwalks, but no one is ever up there. I know it's just paranoia, and for not really any good reason too. Start noticing little changes too. Cameras move slightly, certain pallets sealed shut even when they shouldn't be. Once saw a guy in a dark hoodie walking through the loading bay around 3 AM. Asked around. No one saw him but me. Have not said anything to anyone else. Trying to keep my head down. But I have started documenting everything, just in case. Something really weird is happening at that warehouse. Not something paranormal. Something really real. Just people. But the kind who don't want to be seen. Couple nights after Derek vanished, get assigned solo backroom inventory shift. Usually at least 2 of us, but other guy called out. Manager says, just log what you can, no pressure. Warehouse dead quiet by 2 AM. Only sound is the hum of lights and forklifts in the next bay over. Get for about half the manifest. Come across a shipment listed as miscellaneous electronics. Box is sealed with triple wrap and zip ties. Weird. We don't secure boxes like that unless it is sensitive. Scan barcode. System returns. Access restricted. Weird. Never seen that message before. Try again, and this time it just gives me a standard error, like the item is not in the system. Not the same access restricted message as from before. Go to flag it for supervisor and move on. As I am walking away, hear a loud click from the back wall. Stop and listen. Nothing else. Walk over slowly, thinking maybe it's just the cooling system kicking in. Notice one of the side doors, a heavy, locked one we never use, is cracked open. Pretty sure it was shut earlier. Warehouse policy says to report it, but something stops me. Get closer and peek through. Small dim hallway that runs between the shipping and receiving docks. Almost nobody goes down there unless something breaks. Decide to walk it. Half out of curiosity, half just trying to kill time. Turn the corner and stop dead. There is a second van, parked just outside the fire exit. Same as before. Black, unmarked, no plates. This one is running, engine low and steady. No one inside. Scan the area. See movement near the far end. 2 guys in dark jackets, hauling something heavy out of a pallet and into the van. It's wrapped in tarp, like last time. One of them glances toward me for a half a second. Don't think he saw me, but I back out quick, just in case. Go straight back to the main floor, acting like I did not see anything, hands shaking a little. Finish logging the rest of my manifest, go home early, fake a stomach thing. Next day, talk to supervisor casually. Hey, do we have any third-party pickups this week? He looks at me, like I asked if we ship bombs. Nah man, only our trucks this week. Why? Just say I thought I saw an unfamiliar van. Must have been someone lost. He shrugs it off, says to let him know if it comes back. Later that night, check the tracking system again. Look up the ID on that miscellaneous electronics box. Yeah, there's no entry there. The ID does not return anything. Not marked delivered, not transferred, just nothing there. I run a query for any other shipments marked with the same tags, miscellaneous electronics. There is only one result left, marked for outgoing tomorrow at 3 AM. Destination, Station 5. No address, no contact, no delivery company. Decide I'm going to stay late and watch. Night comes. Shift ends at 1 AM. I hang around, pretend I'm waiting on a late truck. Hide out in the second floor break room that overlooks the back lot. Around 2:45, van rolls in. Same one. Black, silent, no lights. Two guys again, different from before though, wearing gloves this time. They head straight to the restricted pallet and roll it out. They move with a weird urgency, like they have done this 100 times before. One of them checks his watch constantly. Within 10 minutes, they are back in the van and gone. Next morning, that shipment is now marked as delivered and there is no contact info there. But it is very clearly fake. The phone number just rings out. It doesn't actually reach anyone on the other end. The email address and other contact info seem legit, but how easy is it just to make a fake email and give a fake name? Go back to check the footage again. Camera logs between 2:40 and 3:10 AM. They show footage this time, but it is not from that night. Someone must have changed it, because there is nothing happening on the feed, and I know what I saw. Whoever they are, they're wiping or changing everything. Decide to confide in one of the older guys, Steve. He has been there 10 years, old school, smokes during break, and does not care much. Ask if he has ever noticed weird deliveries or unmarked trucks. He goes quiet for a second, then says, just show up, clock out, go home. Tells me that in the past, some things have been known to done under the radar, gets us a better deal, helps keep our wages high, and helps keep us all fed. Tells me that it's nothing that should ever involve me. Asks me if I've talked to anyone else. Say no. He nods and walks away. But before he does, he tells me, this is a good, well-paying gig. Don't mess this up for everyone. Doesn't come back the next day when we are meant to be on shift together. Supervisors say Steve needed to swap to a different shift. Starting to think that this runs deeper than just weird shipping logs. Feel like I'm not supposed to know anything, but now that I've seen it, I can't ignore it. Every day I show up, I feel like I'm being watched a little closer. One morning, I find my locker slightly ajar. Nothing taken, but my notebook is flipped open to the back page. I did not leave it like that. Tried to call Derek's number again. Number not in service. Tried to find him on Facebook, nothing. Searched public records. No trace of him living in the state. What the fuck is going on with him? Still show up to work every night. I just keep my head down and keep collecting my check. I don't want to ruin a good gig or get involved in something shady. Whenever I'm on a late shift now, I don't bother investigating anything. Just log it, and if someone cares, then they care. If they don't, not my problem. Still just seems odd to me though. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed the story so far. If you do and you want to hear more, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment down below, as it lets the algorithm know that you like my content and it promotes it to more people. My goal for the channel is to hit 50,000 subscribers, and we're closing in fast, so thank you, and back to the stories. Here is mine first time telling it. Me and some buddies decide to go out monster hunting one night when we can't go out and drink. Never actually find anything abnormal, just go hunting around in the desert. I live in the southwest for random cool shit, or find deer and other animals while we're hyped up on junk food and soda. Stop at a gas station to get supplies, nothing special. We head out to a few different places we usually go to, nothing happens. Try a new place we had never been to before. It is one of those places that had no trespassing signs slapped all over the place, nothing new, except this one had an old bloody shoe in front of the gate, but we thought nothing of it. We drive around in my buddy's truck for a while, with 2 guys in the bed and 2 in the cab. The 2 in the back have flashlights to look around in the brush, and the entire time we all kinda agree there is a really eerie feeling. We do this all the time, and it's not like this is something new to us, so for all of us to be freaked out, it is a little strange. The further and further we keep going, the more and more old, fucked up clothes we start finding laying in the path. We hit a dead end and go back to take another path. On our way back, driver says he saw something move. We stop, scan area, nothing appears. Probably just paranoia. We keep driving around until we come up on what looks like an old fucked up farmstead. Old horse pens and chicken coops all beat to shit. We get out and start walking around. Whole entire time, the creepy feeling is getting worse and worse. We keep walking around the plot of land and eventually walk down what seems to be a footpath. It was way too small for vehicles. I had tossed in a dip earlier and left my can in my back pocket. As we walk around, we come across what seems to be an old campsite. It looked relatively fresh. We stop at the campsite to talk for a bit about how creepy shit is and decide to go back. As we start walking away, we get a rock thrown at us. We were all walking fairly parallel, so none of us threw it, and we all knew that. We all haul ass down the path. I'm talking oh shit.jpg ass hauling. I trip and fall on my way back to the truck on a rock. My dip and wallet fall out. I don't give a fuck about $3 worth of tobacco. Rather have my life and wallet. Keep going. We all eventually make it back to the truck, with myself in last. We hop in, and the driver guns it. This area was new to us, so we ended up taking a wrong turn. As we go down this new path, there is a slight hill to our left. We all agree we took a wrong turn somewhere, but our truck is too big, and the road is too small to do a 3-point turn. On top of the hill, there is an old truck, not too beat up, but not in great condition either. Its lights are off, but we are all spooked anyways. As soon as we pass the truck, it turns on. It quickly pulls out and goes down the path the way we came. General consensus is that we are fucked. We pull up on a dead end, but it's wide enough to turn, so think we're saved as truck dude has not been seen. 3-point turn is executed. We keep moving. 30 seconds or so later, there is another truck following us. Came from the direction of the dead end. Nobody has any clue where the fuck it came from. That dead end did not have any paths it could have hidden on. Nobody saw it until it came speeding after us. We are not far from actual paved road. Decide to just gun it. Hopefully make it to safety before these wrong turn cultists assault us. Get to the gate. Truck guy number 2 seems to have lost us. I run out, open it up. However, I notice that the shoe that was there before is still there, in relatively the same position. Only this time, there is my can of dip, lying next to it. This story was told to me personally by a witness and participant in the events, whom I will call Jack. Below is a direct quote from him. My wife, Marge, our daughter Janice, she is 6, and I, live on the outskirts of a small town. Nothing strange has ever happened here. Our nearest neighbors are about a mile away, and the closest building that is not ours is a dilapidated old barn, about 300 meters from our house. As I said, nothing unusual ever happened in my lifetime. No murders, no strange gatherings in the barn, nothing out of the ordinary. That is, until things started disappearing from our home. At first, we did not think much of it. We figured we were just misplacing things. Keys, my daughter's mobile phone, pencils, toys, and other small items. Nothing valuable. But when food started disappearing from the fridge, my wife and I realized something was wrong. We debated for a long time what to do. I refused to call the police. I'm not one to have people poking into my business. This is my home, and I will protect it. So I decided to stay up and keep watch on the first floor at night. I grabbed my double-barrel shotgun just in case, sat in the armchair and waited. Everyone else went to bed, and I stayed there, vigilant. I woke up to a sound. It was familiar, but unsettling. Chomping. Someone was in the kitchen, chewing through my food. At first, I felt fear, but then, indignation took over. I jumped out of the chair and rushed to the kitchen, shouting, "I will shoot your damn horns off." But when I reached the door, I froze. I could not move, paralyzed by terror. In the dim light, only the moon filtering through the windows, I saw something by the refrigerator. It was not quite an animal, yet it wasn't quite human either. It stood in an odd, unnatural way, its legs bent in the wrong direction. It was small, just a bit taller than my daughter Janice, but, honestly, the first thing I remember clearly were the eyes, huge, glowing blue, like two moons. The creature stared at me. I raised my gun, and it hissed, its eyes never leaving mine. It seemed to see in the dark, just like a cat. I was terrified. I mean, it's not every day that the devil walks into your house. I fired, but I missed. I didn't understand how. I swear, I aimed at its chest, but when the shot rang out, the barrel was aimed at nothing. Then, the creature knocked me down, threw me to the ground, and started slashing. I screamed, tried to fight it off, but it was so strong, like a bear. I thought, this is it. I am done for. The pain was excruciating, my chest already covered in blood, but then I heard hurried footsteps coming from the stairs. My daughter ran in, followed by Marge. As soon as they saw what was happening, they both screamed. The creature hissed and stared at them, and in that moment I thought, no, you will not touch my family. I screamed, "Run, Marge, grab Janice and run, save yourselves." Janice yelled, "Daddy, Daddy, don't touch Daddy." The fear in her voice was so raw, I screamed again, "Don't touch my family, you bastard." And then, something I still cannot explain happened. It obeyed. It leapt off me, and in 2 swift bounds, it reached the kitchen window. It locked eyes with Janice for a moment, its glowing gaze burning, then jumped out of the window. That was the last we saw of it. Marge immediately called an ambulance. They arrived about 20 minutes later and took me to the hospital. No joke, my chest was shredded by what looked like sharp claws. The medics asked me what had happened, and I kept quiet. Eventually, I told them that a bear had gotten into the house, but they did not believe me. There are no bears in our area. When I returned home with Marge and Janice, they stayed with my sister while I was in the hospital. The first thing I did was check the old barn. And you know what I found? All the things that had gone missing were there. I have a story that I posted in a thread of my own, but the thread was not getting any traction, so I will post here. This story was told to me by my grandfather. I can't tell you guys the exact year, but my grandfather implied that this story took place when he was a boy, so that would put the story in the late 40s or early 50s. My grandfather was born and lived in the rural parts of the Deep South. His great-uncle lived down the road from him. Back in these days, the family kind of lived all in the same general area and knew each other's business, and was involved in each other's work. At this time, my family were farmers and moonshiners. As such, they owned the only car in the area, and when I say they owned, I mean as a collective. All of the extended family, brothers and uncles, etc., used that car. My grandfather and his extended family lived on a road that they owned, basically both sides of the road for what seemed like a couple miles, meaning that my grandfather and his family would live in one house, surrounded by their field and woods, go an eighth of the mile down the road, and my great-great-grandfather would live there, surrounded by his property. Go another several hundred yards down the road, and one of my grandfather's aunt and uncles would live there, etc. This would go on for a couple of miles. I say all this to explain that their road was infrequently traveled by car, as my grandfather's family owned the only car in the area, and his extended family was practically the only family down that road for miles. If there was nothing to do, either on the farm or in moonshining, my grandfather's great uncle would sometimes walk about 5 to 10-ish miles down the road to the nearest busy road for cars. He would just loiter around the intersection at the regional church and wait for cars to pass by to talk to the people in the cars. At this time, you would maybe get a car an hour on a busy day. On to the main story. One day, at dusk, my grandfather's great uncle had to use the bathroom. There was no indoor plumbing, so he had to go to the outhouse down by the edge of the woods. As he was making his way down the path, and since it was very nearly dark out, he noticed a light traveling through the woods. He said that the light was moving towards him, kind of bobbing as it made its way through the woods. Though the motion of the light would have resembled a person walking through the woods holding a lantern, he knew that it was not the case. The light was blue, and it did not light up the surrounding area. It was just a light unto itself. This strange sight scared him, so he froze in place, not too far from the outhouse at the edge of the woods, his eyes transfixed on the light. He said that the light came out into the open. The light, almost a foot in diameter, started to bob more violently, it almost resembling a bouncing ball, though not ever touching the ground, just a violent bobbing. He said that he knew, somehow, that he was going to die soon. He did not know how or the day, but that he would die in the very near future. I don't know how he knew, just that it was a bad omen. He told his family of the light that he saw, and that it was a bad omen, foretelling his death. He also said that he was in fear for his soul, and that he was sure he would go to hell if he died. The very next Sunday, he went to the regional church that I mentioned was about 5 to 10 miles from his house. He confessed his sins and was baptized that day. The Saturday after he was baptized, about a week and a half after the sighting of the light, he was walking home from the intersection. He had spent that Saturday, as he had many lazy Saturdays, hanging out at the intersection and talking to passers-by. Later that afternoon, he decided to return home. He was making his way down the winding road that my family lived on, and he was run over by a car in a curve in the road. As nobody came to the door of any of his relatives, his killers were never caught. His body was found by my family when they went out searching for him when he did not return home that evening. TLDR, grandfather's great uncle sees a blue light at the edge of a field near dusk. Blue light is a bad omen. Grandfather's great uncle knows he will die soon. Goes to church to get right with God. Run over by a car the very next Saturday. Be laid off work for a month before getting back at it. Be living in Chinatown on the 8th floor. Find a labor job on Craigslist, roofing. Guy picks me up at a downtown train station. Guy has the typical crackhead shuffle. Fuck. Work for the week. Guy is a fucking mess. Shoulda known. Get back to my actual job, and a few weeks go by. I try weekly, calling Guy to get my money out of him. Finally, late one weeknight, he calls. Come downtown to a shady bar, get your money. I do. Get to the entrance. Someone outside says, "The fuck you doing here, man?" I say, "Here to get my pay from Guy." They say, "He will fucking kill you, man. Don't go in there." Go in. I have never slept in my life. Find him in the far back corner with people. I state plainly I need my pay. He says, "Let's go outside," and we do. Second I get out, things are not the same. It's like a different city. He gives me a brown paper bag full of Canadian cash. I can't for the life of me count out the bills I need. Things suddenly don't make sense. Guy grabs the paper bag from me and hands me some bills. I take a cab back to Chinatown. Key to my building does not work. I wait to walk in when someone else enters the building. Next day, things are all wrong. Nobody in my building in Chinatown knows me. That night, the cops show up at my door, investigating a 911 hang-up at my apartment. They inform me I am a person of interest in a murder. I relate my timeline from the last 2 days. Something is wrong. According to the cops' timeline, I am missing a day. I am under investigation. Let the cops search my place. They think they will find narcotics. They don't. I stay with friends for the next 2 weeks. Shit is not cool at my place. Everything is off. I go back home, resume my normal life. Through word of mouth, I learned that the guy was charged with a murder on the date of my missing day. I assume this fucking guy was convicted. Things got back to normal, and there has been nothing about it since.